Hello, welcome to Build It. This is a game that is going to ask you to order fractions from least to greatest. So the materials that you need are this stack of fraction cards that some people in your class have already cut out for you. And you also need a Build It game board. It says the object of the game is to be the first player to arrange 5 fraction cards in order from least to greatest. So, we need to shuffle the cards. Miss G and I have already done that. Miss G is going to deal 1 card, number side up, so the side that just has a fraction on it, to each of the 5 spaces for both players.
Are you allowed to move the cards, Mr. Smith?
No, Miss Nuttall, you will not be able to move the cards. We'll show you how you're going to be able to reorder them in a second.
Also, I want to point out this is closest to 0, so this would be the smallest fraction you're trying to get, and closest to 1, so least to greatest. After you have flipped the cards over, fraction side up, you're going to take the first card from your pile and flip it over. I have 4/8. So I now need to think, do I want to take 4/8 and get rid of one of my cards? Or do I want to skip my turn?
Miss G could also take the top card from this pile of cards, so the rest of the cards that we haven't used yet.
You can draw from the draw pile or from the discard pile, so you have 2 choices.
Yeah, but you do have to take 1 card from either pile. So, Miss G, are you going to take one of those 2 cards? That makes sense.
I'm going to take 4/8 and replace it by my 1/6 because I know 4/8 is greater than 1/6, and that's closer to 1.
Cool. And I am going to take a card from the other pile because I see that this card is 6/10. If you see on the number line, it's kind of a little bit of a helper to see where this dot is on the number line. So since 6/10 is really close to the middle of the number line, really close to 1/2, I'm going to replace it with the card that is actually in the middle of my number line. And I'll replace that card to the middle.
So I know 1/10 is smaller than 3/10, so I'm going to replace my 1/10 card, because I know it's closer to 0 on the number line than my 3/10 card is. 1/10 is smaller than 3/10.
So this is how the game will go back and forth until we've decided that we're happy with where our cards are. At the end, we can decide who's won by flipping over all of our cards to check and make sure that they are actually in order from least to greatest. Now, if you looked at our cards right now, they would not be in order from least to greatest because we didn't really do enough turns back and forth to get our cards in order. If you look at the circles that are on, the card all the way on the left of your number line should have the least amount shaded in. So obviously on my side, I can see that this one has way less shaded in than this one, so I already know that I'm wrong.
Wah, wah.
Sad.
Another way that you can check your fractions is to use that fraction number line poster that we talked about earlier in your classroom so that you can see all of the fractions against each other and compare them.
So let's just say if I did actually win with the smallest fractions.
Oh, nice, Miss G.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just say if I did actually win, player 1, Miss G, would get a point, and Mr. Smith would not get a point.
Sad.
If I still had time left, I would take, whoops, sorry, Mr. Smith, I would take all my cards back, we would reshuffle the deck, and we would start over.
And the player with the most points at the end is the real winner. Have fun!